lovers, it is itsgswizz here, and I am here today with a 7 on Sunday. If you didn't know, 7 on Sunday is hosted by me. If you want to participate in this week's prompt, or if you want to participate in a future prompt, the Goodreads page is down in the description below, so you can check it out. You can participate if you want to. If you don't want to, but if you still want to participate, go support everyone else's video, you know? Go do it. Champion them on. Quickly, I want to address that I couldn't join 7 on Sunday last week due to a computer memory issue. Unfortunately, my computer is experiencing internal memory issue problems. You know, when you save things to iMovie or iTunes, and then that takes up space, and then you don't think that that takes up that much space, but no, it takes up a lot of space, and then iMovie won't let you proceed with editing your project, it won't let you proceed with saving your video, and then that means you won't be able to upload your video. I've gotten a few Dropbox suggestions. They are pretty helpful suggestions, but I kind of want to have my physical external hard drive. I actually ordered one last Sunday, the same day things were happening, and that should be here by the time this video goes up, so we won't have any problems. I'm just gonna get started with a 7 on Sunday. So this week's 7 on Sunday topic is underhyped books. I'm very much looking forward to everybody's take on this topic. It has been such a long time since I've talked about underhyped books. I'm pretty sure the books that I mentioned on this list have been mentioned somewhere else along the track in an underhyped books video manner. But that being said, this is my current list of underhyped reads, restricted to 7 on Sunday. Let's do it. Some of them I haven't mentioned. It's gonna be a good mixture today. Without further ado, let's get started with the top 7 underhyped books on my list this week. I'm gonna be talking about this book because I don't really hear people talking about it. Like, the publisher hype was real, and every single time I feel like this author releases a new series, the hype is really big around the first book, and then the hype slowly dies down, and it doesn't really get as much hype as it deserves. I've only read the first book, so I don't know if I'm the one to preach. That being said, the first book is really good, and I feel like a lot of people are not paying attention to the fact that this book series is better than expected. That, my friends, is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. Now, yes, I am talking about Julie Kagawa. She also released Talon a few years back. I remember the first book getting a lot of publisher hype, like pre-hype, and then a lot of people were just like, meh, not for me, I'm just gonna move on. Then 4 books later, she has a 5-book series, and no one's talking about it. It's never really been the talk of hyped books on BookTube. Then I read Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and funnily enough, I read this while I was really struggling with anhedonia, and I actually really liked this book, and I was so surprised because I wasn't enjoying anything, and I ended up enjoying Shadow of the Fox. No one was talking about it. I was like, what? Am I not watching the right booktubers? Of course, every booktuber is the right booktuber, you know, if you want to have certain different tastes, but maybe it's because I haven't been watching booktube in a while. That's probably why. Guys, I'm back filming videos, but I need to be motivated to just keep watching booktube because I just keep on going on YouTube to watch memes. I need to stop wasting my time. I mean, it's not a waste of time, it's an investment in my well-being, but I could be watching more booktube. Not too many people have raved about it. Not too many people I see really like it. But I really loved this book, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. I already purchased the next 2 books in the series because I already know that this series is just good. It's just worth the investment, you know? The next book series I'm gonna mention, I believe, is the most underhyped series from this author. Technically, this author is more well known for a particular dystopian series and the spin-off, or at least a tie-in series to that dystopian series, and I personally think those 2 series aren't really that great. They're not really as deserving of the hype as this series is. That, my friends, is the Young Elites Trilogy by Marie Lu. So don't get me wrong, Warcross isn't horrible. It's not an amazing series, but it's not a bad series. Legend, on the other hand, I have a lot of regrets reading that series. I get the people who are a fan of the series. I get the people who like June and Day, and they enjoy reading about those characters and about the world. I just didn't. The book series wasn't really that impactful to me. However, the Young Elites was a completely different situation. These days, I still think about Adelina. I still think about her story. And honestly, I kind of feel sad because I really do feel like the series is no longer talked about. It is a very good series. It is worth investing your time in. If you have not read the series yet, you need to read it. The Young Elites Trilogy is really good, and it's really worth everyone's time, just in my opinion. And the next book I'm going to be talking about is a dystopian that lost its hype pretty much ages ago, and I had only just read it and I realized, wow, this dystopian is actually pretty good. Technically, it's a quick and easy read. Actually quick, not really easy, because oh boy, it was brutal for me. I was angry and I was fuming at this book. I'm still so angry thinking about this book. I'm talking about Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. Both books in this duology, like, just read them as a whole. Just read them back to back. Just read them as if you're reading an entire story, an entire book. This duology, it was a pretty good YA dystopian, but I also really loved this duology because I loved seeing the perspective of a dystopian from an adult romance contemporary writer's perspective. I think that it was very clever, to be honest, and I felt like it delved into the characters' emotions a lot more than I expected it to, and I think that that was really good. It kind of talked about the psychological challenges that she had to go through in order to go from being perfect to being flawed in this society. It was very unfair to read. I was just distraught. I was destroyed while reading this book because no one at that age, or at least no good person, deserves what Celestine went through. So it makes me really angry. And yeah, there are a lot of books these days that make me angry, but this one's a very underhyped one. This one's a really good one. This one I'm very passionate about right now. I've only read it recently and no one's talking about it anymore. And that's understandable because YA dystopian hit its peak. It's no longer a thing. But that being said, if you wanted to have a little bit of a taste of YA dystopian again, pick up Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. I personally think it's a very good YA dystopian because it's so different, but also it's very emotionally driven. No one's talking about it anymore, and everybody was talking about it at some point because I think publishers were sending books out when this book came out back in the day. So I'd say the hype is gone. I think it still deserves the hype. Another book that I recently read that I do think is underhyped and did not get that much recognition at all when it came out and at the moment is The Evaporation of Sophie Snow by Mary Weber. It is a pretty good book. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of like what I wanted Warcross to be and even more. If you were not satisfied with Warcross, The Evaporation of Sophie Snow is for you. Because oh boy, I was not satisfied with Warcross, even if Wildcard was meant to resolve everything. Wildcard did some of its job, but wasn't really that satisfying. This duology, on the other hand, was pretty satisfying and still had the aspects of a virtual world that was really cool. Like, I really loved the concept, and if you also like virtual world concepts, I would recommend this series. I'm not saying that it's going to be better to everyone because a lot of people do love Warcross, and that's understandable. But I think that the character motivations in this specific series were a lot more justified than Warcross's ones. I read the duology within 2 days, a book a day, and it was good. It was satisfying. I just pretty much gulped it all up. I recommend it to those people who just want a good, quick duology. Sometimes these days, duologies just don't really get that much hype. So if I was to give another duology some love, it'd be this one. Oh my goodness, another book series that is so underhyped. And the reason why I'm going to mention this book series is because it is underhyped compared to every other one of the books that this particular author has put out. I understand that a lot of people do like the Mistborn series, but to me it's not as good as the Reckoners Trilogy. Nothing that I've read from Brandon Sanderson yet has compared to the Reckoners Trilogy. I love this trilogy so much, and even though the last book in the series is not the best book in the series, I just really enjoyed following the characters in the series, and I like it when Brandon Sanderson writes the modern day world. I'm not gonna write off Mistborn. I actually just want to reread Mistborn without feeling slumpy and without feeling like I need to get it done, because that's the mindset that I went into Mistborn with. But that being said, this series was just so engaging from the get-go. This series is so good, and if you like the Renegades trilogy, I really think that you'll like the Reckoners trilogy. Or at least, I think that you should give it a try. My number 6 mention I have is the ultimate underhyped series from this particular author, because let's be real, some popular authors, like I had just mentioned, do also have underhyped series. And I think it's very much a crime that the series is underhyped and no one talks about it. And people keep on saying, yes, I'll read every one of his other books, but not this series. I'm thinking, why? You're missing out on the Kane Chronicles. It infuriates me when people think that this series doesn't matter. It kind of is connected. The characters don't really show up anywhere, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good series. Kane Chronicles was so much better than I expected. It's a really good series about Egyptian mythology. And you know, Papa Rick is out there writing about Norse mythology and Greek mythology and about Roman mythology. You'd expect people to at least be interested in Egyptian mythology, but they're not. A lot of people are just like, yes, I will read Rick Riordan's books, but that Egyptian trilogy, yeah, nah, because it doesn't really tie into the other series, so I'm not gonna bother. And I'm thinking, that shouldn't be a reason why you shouldn't bother. It's still a good series. Like, you don't have to only read things that tie together from Rick Riordan. And by the way, this series does end up tying up with the Percy Jackson series because, you know, demigods and magicians is a thing. It kind of makes me sad when people write it off. I don't want to shame anybody for not reading books, so I apologize if I'm coming off that way. However, the reason I'm talking this way is just because no one gives the Kane Chronicles a chance. I kind of wish that they just not write it off like that. Like the people who say that Rick Riordan stuff is so much better when it's crossed over, or like even people that say that about Marvel movies, like if you have that mindset, you're gonna be missing out on a lot of things. And the grand finale to this 7 on Sunday is a book that I could talk about forever. I think a lot of you guys might be expecting this book, a lot of you guys might not. I mean, I'm kind of talking about underhyped books, so a lot of people actually wouldn't really expect what would come up on someone's list, but I'm pretty sure some people would expect this from me. Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. No one in my friendship circle has been talking about it. No one has approached me about this book. No one has talked to me about Chosen Ones yet. From what I know the Chosen Ones fandom is in this corner right now. None of my friends, none of my booktube friends, none of my real life friends have talked to me about Chosen Ones from Veronica Roth yet, and I'm thinking to myself, probably no one likes it. And I get it. I get if no one likes it. Chosen Ones is not for everyone. Divergent is not for everyone. I get that too. But, guys, if you haven't read it yet, please try it out for your girl, because I could be crying about this book all damn day. It's one of my favorite books ever. It's my favorite book of the year so far. I cannot get over it, but I personally love it because I love how Veronica Roth writes her characters. I especially love how she writes her protagonists, and I understand Sloane, the protagonist, is not for everyone, but I think that she wrote a great protagonist in Sloane. I love Knox as a character as well. I love Matt as a character as well. I love the characters in this book. I love the concept. I love everything about it, and I just could keep reading it, and I could keep crying about it. I could keep talking about it, but no one has approached me about this book, and I get it. I might just be an intimidating person. Maybe it's that. If any of you guys like it out there, can you just reach out to me, please? It's a very lonely fandom over here. Book of Gamora and Wonder Woman right here. They're here for moral support. So, I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you want to purchase any of these underhyped books, guess what? I have Book Depository purchase links where you can purchase them down in the description below, and you can help me out by doing so. Huh? That wasn't meant to rhyme. I'm feeling like a rap god. Don't forget to join us for 7 on Sunday next week, where we talk about the books that make us angry. But that being said, I think I've already gotten a bit fired up a bit in this video, so please pray for me. That video is gonna be very fun. Also, if you want to follow my funny shenanigans, I have social medias. I'm at gswizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. Love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Started out with half and I flipped it into double. Started out with half and I flipped it into double.